We start off this with Luffy and the rest of the crew arriving at Loguetown. They all go on their separate ways, Sanji getting food, Zoro finding new source at the ones Hawkeye destroyed. Luffy has already had his bounty issued of 30 million. It would be higher, but no one knows about the fight with Hawkeye, really. I'm just going to assume that they don't. Luffy wanders around while others do their thing. Usopp getting his new goggles and such. That's when Luffy runs into Smoker. Well, Luffy's not in particularly good shape. He's still injured from his encounter with Hawkeye. Although he walks away with an injury, he also walks away with his first step into future sight. And it wouldn't be a far guess to assume that Hawkeye has advanced observation haki, seeing as he is considered the world's strongest swordsman. And you would assume that one would have to have their haki to the highest level to be claimed to be the strongest swordsman in the world. We skip to this with Luffy encountering Smoker. Smoker tries to attack Luffy, but Luffy easily dodges and punches Smoker, not realizing that he's Logi at first. After Luffy seeing his punch go through, he just uses his haki and beats down Smoker the regular way, without him being able to really do anything, because this isn't a post-time skip Smoker where he's used to the idea of haki and knows haki, as well as is more accustomed to the fact that he can be damaged, and that as a Logia, he's not intangible in the new world where haki is very prevalent. The beatdown of Smoker is pretty brutal. Well, I wouldn't even say brutal, it's kind of one-sided. Smoker tries to fight back, but Luffy just completely crushes him, basically. Tashigi has her encounter with Zoro, and after seeing Smoker getting destroyed, she tries to step in, but she's swiftly dealt with by Zoro. The crew leave and then they start to make their way to the Grand Line, making their way up Reverse Mountain, same as the original, and encountering Laboon. When they go inside Laboon's stomach, after being swallowed by it, they encounter Crocus. Luffy, with his observation haki, realizes that this isn't an ordinary old man. And we can assume that Crocus knows haki and everything, because he wasn't part of Goldie Roger's crew, even if he was just a medic instead of like first mate or something like that. But it could be assumed that everybody on the crew knew haki. But then again, Buggy did not know haki when he encountered Luffy. Post time skip Buggy, we're not sure if he knows haki. However, Buggy was just an apprentice at that time, wasn't an actual member he wasn't an official full-fledged member of Roger's crew. Anyway, Luffy catches Crocus's eye, because they're basically having a standoff, eyeballing each other with observation haki. Crocus says to Luffy, "You're too strong to be in this sea. What are you doing here?" Because this is the first after the Grand Line, Paradise. You don't see many incredibly strong people in this part of the sea. The warlords inside this sea were the ones that Luffy encountered. Well, you could assume that Crocodile learned not knows haki, is aware of haki. It's actually pretty ridiculous to think that Crocodile does not know haki, because he went into the new world and he actually tried to kill Whitebeard. It doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, they eyeball each other. Luffy says, "You're not the regular. You're not a simple old man." Crocus responds with, "You're not a simple kid either." Realizing each other's prowess, Luffy gets ready to fight him because of this excitement that yet another strong opponent's in front of him that might be able to take him. Crocus denies this because Crocus is an old man. You would assume that he doesn't really want to fight as much as he is right now. And they run into Vivi and I think it was Mr. 8, the guy with the baseball bat that nobody remembers, that I'm pretty sure is dead. I think he got killed by like Mr. 5 or something. Yeah, I think he got killed by Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine with the Kilo no Mi, which is an inferior version of the Tun fruit held by Mock Vice. Anyway, they arrive in Whiskey Peak. You know what? I'm gonna make it so that Zoro still has his showdown in Whiskey Peak. Because why not? Zoro deserves that scene. Like, Zoro's amazing. He deserves to shine. He's like one of my favorite. Him and Luffy are tied for my favorite Straw Hat. Because Zoro is just such a badass. And I don't want to be getting rid of all of Zoro's badass moments. So I'm going to say he still has this showdown in Whiskey Peak with Luffy noticing everything, but thinking that Zoro can handle it because he has trust in his crew. It's because in that way, One Piece is not a normal shonen manga where you expect the main character to deal with everything by himself, where like everybody's fighting the final villain of that arc, and it comes down to Luffy after all of his friends are defeated. It's happened before where it's the entire crew against one opponent, but it's not the same as most shonen manga, where it feels like you're waiting on the protagonist to come and save everyone. For the most part, One Piece is good with that. I don't know how to. Let me word it. Let me think of how to word it. The characters have individual interactions. They don't all go for like the main villain or whoever. It never feels like Luffy, if Luffy's not there to save the day, the whole crew's doomed. It feels like Luffy goes to deal with the captain or the man in charge of their crew because captains should face each other, and the rest of the crew are fighting their counters. Anyway, we go back to Whiskey Peak with Zoro cutting down 100 bounty hunters and running into Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine. I think that's her name. Anyway, they just get Zoro. Luffy and Zoro don't fight because Luffy's aware of the situation this time. Zoro takes care of both of them because Luffy and Zoro, they just basically casually defeated Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine. without even any difficulty whatsoever, because they were in the middle of their own fight and they saw these people getting inside the way, so they just completely destroyed them. After this, Vivi asks the crew for help, realizing just how strong the members of the crew are, especially Luffy. Well, especially Zoro, because Luffy hasn't really had his time to shine in front of Vivi at this point, because Zoro just cut down 100 bounty hunters, and everybody's on her, along with the rest of Baroque works, are under the assumption that Zoro's actually the captain and that Luffy is just a figurehead. And this is shown many times that that a lot of people think that Zoro's the captain because Zoro doesn't have the personality to follow others in the most place, because Zoro's always like a lone wolf, and he always has like a dominating presence in most situations. Okay. After this, Straw Hats set off with, what was his name? Fucking, I don't remember his name. It's been a while since I've reread the Whiskey Peak portion of the story, because like I watched it multiple times. I've watched One Piece from start to the most recent episode around like 3 or 4 times. All of the episodes, I don't really remember. It's a lot of information to compress, because One Piece has over 800 named characters, and that is incredibly massive if you really think about it. I have it. It starts with an I or something. It's I or E, but anyway, his ship still blows up and he presumably dies. And you could say that Luffy uses observation haki to sense that he's still alive, but I'm gonna say he doesn't. Okay, I'm saying he doesn't, because that would make the story pretty awkward, and I wouldn't really know where it would go from there. From there on, the crew head to Little Garden. With their arrival on Little Garden, Zoro and Sanji still have their contest. Sanji still named Mr. Prince after killing the animal agents who were meant for assassinations. Mr. 3 and Miss All Sunday, well, not Miss All Sunday, Miss Golden Wheat are defeated swiftly without much effort from Haki Luffy. And Dory and Bragi, the same thing happens, but they don't use their weapons to defeat the giant goldfish. Luffy uses observation haki to scare it away. And they head on their way, running into Mr. 2, not realizing that he's an enemy. That whole interaction still happens with them getting along with Mr. 2. Mr. 2 is actually a really good character. That's shown in Impel Down. He's just the best. Anyway, this is what we get for their arrival. Wait, no. Not yet. Oh, yes. Okay, I remembered. I was going to say their arrival at Alabasta, but I almost completely forgot Drum Island. Luffy has an interaction with Chopper, calling him a raccoon dog. Chopper saying he's a reindeer, explaining Dr. Haralook. Luffy curb stomping fucking Wapple. It's not like inside the story where it's like a semi-fair fight. Luffy sending him fly. Luffy beats the shit out of him and then sends him flying. Like, traumatizing Wapple. Like, completely traumatizing Wapple. And then Chopper joins the crew. I'm not going too in depth with these islands because there's nothing that could really stop Luffy here, such as those killer rabbit thingies on the mountain, whatever. And Luffy doesn't really have too much trouble climbing to the top because of his haki. He just uses armament to dig his holes into the mountain and just starts hoisting himself up at a much faster speed. Because this isn't just a Luffy with haki. This is Luffy was stronger. That's much stronger and faster than he should be at this point inside the story because of Garp's closer training. Okay. And with those rabbit things, he just uses Conqueror's haki to get them out of the way. And now on their way to Alabasta, the rival of Ace. I know some of you guys are anticipating this portion of the story. I'm kind of debating if I want to include this inside this part or make a second part. You know what? I'm gonna make them two separate videos because I've actually been pretty busy with my school online, barely working. This is my last year because I'm a senior. I'm just gonna end this part here. I need to start scripting my videos, but I've been incredibly busy of late. So like, please like and subscribe if you want to, if you enjoy the content. And I will buy a mic soon. I have the money. It's just that I need references for good mics. Like I need references for good mics. Okay? I'll see you guys later in the next part, which it might take a day to you, but I'm going to record the next part right now while all the information is fresh in my mind.